My name's Daniel Lusinski. I'm 40 years old. I'm a full-time father, full-time bladesmith, and I'm a full-time cancer fighter. I have been fighting leukemia for 17 years. Watching Forge and Fire and watching the contestants overcome such adversities made me feel like I needed to push myself harder to do something like that.
My name is Nick Meyer. I'm from Elizabeth, Colorado. I retired from the Army in 2012. The transition was challenging, and so blacksmithing and knife making was part of that transitional growth.
My name is Joshua Weiser. I've been bladesmithing for about 2 years. I'm coming on to Forge and Fire because I want to prove to my kids that they have something that they're really passionate about. They can go after it and hopefully succeed.
My name is Scotty Helms. Been making blades for going on almost 3 years now. I'm way out of my comfort zone here. My shop is me, a little bit of music, and my kids is really chill, really relaxed, laid back. This is not gonna be chill and laid back.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the Forge. Each of you has come here to seek the title of Forge and Fire champion by engaging in 3 timed rounds of edged weapon making competition in front of a panel of expert judges who will tell us who that champion is, walking out of here with a check for $10,000. So let's meet your judges now. Up first, 2-time Forge and Fire champion, Ben Abbott. Historic weapons recreation specialist, David Baker. And last, edged and impact weapon specialist, Doug Marcaida. Bladesmiths, on top of your anvils is a cloth. Go ahead and lift that up. On your anvils are 2 bars of 1095 steel that you'll have to make a signature blade in your signature style that is between 12 and 14 inches in length.
I've just got to shape a blade out of pieces of 1095. Like, okay, I can do that. No problem.
Gentlemen, you have 3 hours in which to complete all this work, but you know it's not going to be that easy.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
At the bottom of each hour, in other words, 2 hours and 30 minutes, 1 hour and 30 minutes, and at the 30-minute call, we will throw a new parameter at you that you must fulfill before the time runs out.
I thought of a lot of different things that they would do to us, but the added parameters was something that I had no idea would even come up.
If you make it to the second round, you'll attach handles to those blades so that we can test them for strength and durability in a bamboo chop and for edge retention in an apple slice. Failure to meet a single one of our parameters is grounds for immediate dismissal from the Forge with no deliberation, so make sure you stay on top of those call-outs. Good luck, Bladesmiths. Your 3 hour starts now. All right, so is there a standard blade blank that these guys can kind of draw? Because they know they're going to get another parameter thrown at them.
You prepare and await orders, but you prepare for something where you can make fixes.
Let's see, what do I want to do? I came here for a challenge, and they did not disappoint. Adding parameters throughout the round, that's a lot of weight in the back of your mind as you're moving forward. All right, just thinking. My game plan is to make the parameters, and I do not want to go home because I did not know how to use a measuring tape. I'm trying to get my square stock down to little flat billets where I can get them forward welded together.
The challenge of forge welding is that it's an easy thing to have these 2 pieces of steel walk away from each other.
Get hot, get hot.
I get them as hot as possible in the forge, and the 2 pieces start to separate. I try to flux the 2 pieces of steel, and I give it a shot at Big Blue, but the 2 pieces of steel, again, banana apart.
Daniel was the first one to the press. He pressed it, it was cold. You could see a seam running around that. I don't know that he's got a solid weld there at all.
You want to have good, clean surfaces when you're going to do a forge weld. You don't want any kind of scale or slag in between layers because it'll create inclusions in the steel. I get the billet tacked together. It's not great, but it'll be enough to hold.
It looks like Josh got his weld set on his billet.
Put a couple of quick hits on the press.
Josh, squish that down, and the other end just open up like this.
Oh, man.
Get it back into the forge. I leave the metal in the forge longer the next time to make sure I'm at a good high temperature.
With an unknown parameter, I'm going to focus on controlling what I can control right now, so I'm just going to work on getting a good forge weld first.
All right, what else do I need to do?
First thing I do is get those two pieces of 1095 forge weld together. Those challenges are standing out there looming, but I can't let those overwhelm me.
Hot steel.
I have got to adapt as those additional parameters get added. I half expect them to roll a car in and say, all right, and now you're gonna do this.
That unknown is what really makes the challenge exciting.
Bladesmiths! Half an hour has elapsed. You have 2.5 hours remaining to finish your work, which now must include harvesting mild steel from the scrap barrel and making a Zhanmadao billet. Go! Woo! All right, so Zhanmadao technique literally means 3 layers.
There are 3 styles of Zhanmadao. There's the taco where you bend it around and you inset your steel. You can grind a groove in and inset your steel, or you can just start with 3 separate pieces of steel, tack them together, and weld them together.
I was not prepared for this at all. I had the billet in the forge. I got to pull it out and try and get it cleaned up to the point where I can put the mild steel on either side.
Are you kidding me right now?
Adding Zhanmadao just runs a huge risk of having delams.
When you're using angle iron to do a Zhanmadao, you want it to be clean when you set that forge weld.
When I set my Zhanmadao, one of the steel plates is starting to come off.
Hopefully, Josh is just closing air gaps because that's not welding.
Flux the hell out of it and hope that it sticks.
I'm gonna do a taco Zhanmadao, so I gotta get my billet cleaned up to accept that mild steel. I choose the taco because all I have to do is heat it up and bend it around. Keep it simple, stupid. And I'm king stupid.
Why am I using a hammer when I have a power hammer?
It looks like Nick's trying to get his billet crammed down into that mild steel taco. It's not working with him.
Oh, see, that's the problem.
Hate it when the meat falls out of the taco.
Those are dirty pieces of steel, just all stuck together.
I got to figure out a way to make that mild steel stick.
I already can't get these 2 pieces of 1095 to forge weld together, and now I have to take mild steel and make a Zhanmadao billet.
Starting over.
This is a really risky move, but we're only a little ways in on the clock, and I've got an opportunity to start fresh.
Daniel's just got 2 brand new pieces of 1095.
That's not a terrible thing if you realize you've been going the wrong way.
He was trying to forge weld those pieces of 1095 earlier on the press at very low temperatures.
Right.
My new plan is to take 2 pieces of mild steel and sandwich them around the 1095 and do a traditional Zhanmadao layer.
So that's 45 minutes gone.
Right.
I've got to make these welds stick before time runs out.
Zhanmadao, doing a curveball, but I just used the 1 piece, 1095, because I was in the process of cleaning my billets before I got to that part, so it kind of just played right into where I was. I take 1 piece of 1095 and sandwich them in between some angle iron to make a billet with that for my Zhanmadao. I'm here to win money for St. Jude's. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm a St. Jude's baby. I want some other kid and some other family to have the life that I'm so blessed to have.
Bladesmiths! 90 minutes has elapsed. That is half the time in this first round of competition. And here is your additional stipulation. Big Blue is no longer in play. You cannot use that piece of machinery.
Come on, that's why I came to use Big Blue.
You big enough all by yourself, buddy.
Big Blue's my best friend. Big Blue can't be off limits.
So with 90 minutes left on the clock, we take Big Blue off the table. That is a huge disadvantage to these guys that are trying to either start over or come back from bad welds.
It moves metal faster than anything else in this shop.
The fatigue factor is going to come in. You still have the press to put everything down, but you're going to have to hammer everything in. Oh, the old way.
You're gonna do that to me now? Zhanmadao was one thing, but actually removing a tool from the shop, this is completely unexpected. As I'm drawing my blade out, I'm trying to figure out how to make it get wider. It's not getting nearly as wide as I want it to.
It's a lean blade.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you get when you don't have a lot of material to work with.
Right, not using both pieces of that 1095 hurt them, I think.
I believe that.
I probably should have put those two pieces of 1095 together, but it's too late to start over. I made this bed and I'm gonna live in it. Not having Big Blue sucks.
So Big Blue's gone. Without Big Blue, I'm gonna have to put extra work in at the anvil to meet parameters.
Just snuck in a blade all of a sudden.
Josh is the only one of these smiths that's really got a firm handle on what's going on, man.
This thing is huge.
This is devastating because my sand and my billet just won't stick together. And the press just isn't working.
Oh, no.
The mild steel is just not setting to the 1095. I don't know if it's a heat issue or the welders just aren't creating a good weld to bond the steels together.
This guy's in a lot of trouble over here on anvil number 1.
There's no way those forged welds are gonna stick at this point.
Hopefully, he's not starting over.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get all this done. I'm running out of time. I could be going home.
Oh, no.
This is devastating because my sand and my billet just won't stick together. I'm starting over again.
Daniel has grabbed another piece of angle iron from the scrap barrel.
I switched the game plan a third time, and I began trying a taco method.
It's really not an easy weld to make happen. If you set your square in the bottom of your angle iron, as you close it, it's gonna try to squeeze it out.
I'm not the type of person who gives up at anything. It doesn't matter how much time's left on the clock. I'll work to the very last minute.
Oh, she grew! Yeah, my blade is in parameters, and we're getting right there, ready to quench. Quench it! Yeah, baby, yeah! It's hard, fantastic, and it's straight. What, wonder not. Now it's all hogging off steel until that mystery parameter comes out.
I get the blade up to about as even as heat as I could get it.
All right, here we go.
Josh just quenched.
Didn't hear any pings or anything like that. Did lose a whole bunch of arm hair, though.
Bladesmiths! 2.5 hours has elapsed in this first round of competition. That leaves you 30 minutes remaining to finish your work. You must include some filing detail on the spine of your blades.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah!
I look at the clock and I see very little time left. I don't even know if the file work's gonna happen, but I refuse to give up.
Daniel said he's just in a battle to even turn in something at this point.
I don't even think that Daniel has gotten a forged weld to stick yet.
Bam!
I get my file work done, so now I've got a heat treat,
Nick just quenched.
and I've got a warp.
That is an extreme curve, right in the middle of the blade.
Just put some gentle pressure, trying to get that warp out.
The 1095 finally bonds a little bit in the middle of the taco, just enough to say that I've got some mild steel forge welded to 1095. Now I need to quench. Time's running out.
This has just been an untamable monster for Daniel.
Finally, something works well.
I'm feeling real good about the blade, and I take it off the grinder, and I look. And crack right down the spine. I think that's just superficial. I'm gonna grind on a little bit and make it go away.
All right.
I still have to put file work on the spine. So I grab the angle grinder and just knock some notches in it.
Scotty choosing to do his file work with the grinder rather than hand file it in there. Can you create stresses in your blades?
He's got to be very careful with that.
I get my file work done just as time's running down.
10 seconds.
Look at Daniel pushing to the very end, and I like it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmith, drop your tool, shut down your machine, stop whatever you're doing. This first round of competition is over.
Boy, buddy, good job, brother. Good job.
Awesome job, dude.
Well done. Wow, I did it. Now let's see if I actually really did it. It's a relief and an added stress all at once.
All right, bladesmiths, in this first round of competition, we asked you guys to make 12 to 14-inch signature blades in your signature style. This was made additionally hard by us adding stipulations and rules throughout the round. And now it's time for the judges to take a closer look at your work. Scotty, you're up first. Please present that blade to the judges.
Well, Scotty, you started your setup with one of the pieces of 1095, and that left you with a lean amount of material to work with. The handle is very big, so if you were to move forward from here, try to move it all together, shorten it up, and make it a comfortable handle. The one thing most concerning to me, there's a crack that runs from here all the way to the tip. Then when I turn it around, I can see evidence of that crack also from about here to the tip. If you're to move forward from here, it'll be interesting to see how you deal with that.
Yes, sir.
Josh, you're up. Please present your blade to the judges.
All right, Josh, you have a very straight blade here. Your welds look nice. I like the profile you have here and your handle construction. If you move forward, just need some refining. But overall, sir, great job.
Thank you.
All right, Nick, you're up next. Please present your blade to the judges.
So, Nick, right now, you hear that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Chances are there's a large pocket underneath there that's not welded. I don't know how far up under that weld it's open. That's my biggest concern with this blade, is both there and, again, here, there's a large flake sticking out. So as you clean this blade and get it finished out, try to be very aware of what you're opening up.
Yes, sir.
All right, Daniel, we have a problem. Now, you fought hard, you battled with the heat, you battled with the steel, but unfortunately, your blade is half an inch under our minimum 12-inch length requirement. Additionally, there's no file work on your blade. You cannot move forward in this competition, and for that reason, I have to ask you to please surrender your blade.
Understood. I fully agree with the judges, and I understand their decision.
Thank you.
I mean, I came off chemo to come out here.
Thank you, guys.
It was that important to me. It meant enough to me to put my life on the line to come out here. This was a really beautiful experience. It was worth giving it a shot and giving it all I had.
All right, bladesmiths, congratulations. You've made it to the second round of this competition. And over the course of the next 2 hours, you're gonna take those tempered blades and you're gonna attach handles to them. And just to keep up with the theme, we're gonna be throwing additional stipulations to this challenge as the time goes. However, this is Forged in Fire and there's always a twist. We're not gonna let you know when those parameters are gonna come your way. You're just gonna have to adjust on the fly.
Why not? I'm highly worried about what we're running into and what I've got to do when those parameters come out just randomly sometime in that 2-hour window.
When the time runs out, your weapons will be tested for strength and durability in a bamboo chop and for edge retention in an apple slice. Good luck, bladesmiths. Your 2 hour starts now. These guys knew when those challenges were going to come in the first round, and now we've told them we're going to throw them in at random times. So there's really no way of setting a pace.
In the first round, I didn't have time to drill holes through the tang, so I softened the tang itself so that I'll have an easier time drilling through it.
If I was in Josh's spot, I wouldn't spend too much time on the handle at this point, because you never know if we're going to throw out you need a through tang or a hidden tang or whatever.
I have no idea what that next parameter would be. Sky's the limit.
Nick's got some delaminations on his blade.
What I'm trying to do with that contact wheel is grind that back to a point where that mild steel is forge welded to the 1095.
And obviously, Scotty has a nasty seam to deal with on his blade.
If I were Scotty, the first thing I would do was to take a Dremel and I'd open that back up. That way I could get a deep weld in there.
I'm going to take the Dremel, I'm going to gouge out a channel, and then I'm going to weld it because I want to make those two pieces one.
With the size of Nick's blade, I wouldn't hollow grind it. I'd just flat grind that thing all the way up. Push those D-lams as high as you can.
So I had some delaminations. I've addressed them to the point that I can. I'm not sure it's going to be super pretty, but I think it'll be a functional blade.
I get that gap filled. It's not perfect. I would love it to be better, but I can only do so much, and I still have the crack in my edge. The best thing I can do is grind away and see, because I have a lot of steel available.
Bladesmiths! 60 minutes has elapsed, and the additional stipulation that we're adding is that you must use leather in your handle's finished construction. Carry on.
Yes!
My handle construction doesn't really suit it for leather, but I'm just gonna try and wing it. Never used leather on a handle before, so I guess I'll just have to figure that out later.
Well, leather's been used in many handles over and over. You know, it acts like a nice shock absorber when you put it in there. I mean, if done well, it's a great handle.
I think I can incorporate that leather on the exterior and make it a little more grabby.
This additional requirement to add leather to my handle actually could really help how my blade functions and how the judge is able to hold on to this blade.
And that's what we call smarter, not harder.
I'm going with G10 for my full tank. You don't normally put leather on full tanks, so I think the only option I have available is I've got to do a leather wrap. That way I can incorporate the leather and still have a good solid structure, that G10 that I put on there.
My handle's glued up. Now I'm gonna start taking some of the meat off those handle scales because they're really thick.
Bladesmiths, stop what you're doing. You have just 30 minutes remaining. We've already hit you with a leather stipulation, and now you must add a mosaic pin.
Oh my God. Of course it's something that I should have done before I already glued my handle scales on. I knew they were gonna me up somehow. Now I have to drill through both the handle scales and the tang at the same time.
If you're drilling a pinhole after you've already set your scales, isn't it possible to pop that scale up?
Yeah, especially if the epoxy is set, but not really hard.
This might destroy my handle.
Bladesmiths, you must add a mosaic pin.
Oh my God. If I would have found this out before I glued my scales on, it would have been a piece of cake. Now I have to drill through both the handle scales and the tang at the same time. This might destroy my handle. All right. I didn't destroy the tang.
I'm looking at my handle and I realize I can use the mosaic pin to pin all of those pieces of my micarta together. This actually is going to add structural integrity and make my blade better.
All right.
I stuck with 2 pins instead of 3, which is actually giving me the perfect spot for a mosaic. I can incorporate that in between the other 2, and I'm not short on space.
Bladesmiths, stop what you're doing, listen up. You have only 15 minutes remaining in the round, and your blades must be acid etched by the end of this round. Carry on.
It's a huge sigh of relief for me because I was already planning to do that anyway. I need to start thinking about what I'm gonna do with this leather. My game plan right now, I think, is to do like a leather wrap around the base. The small taper at the end is the only real place that I can put it that it will not impede with the feel in your hand.
The leather wrap holds in place. Let's put an edge on this knife.
You kidding me?
That pesky crack on the cutting edge shows up again. There's not enough time on the clock to fix it. I hope and pray that is just a small D-lamp that popped up and doesn't go all the way through my blade.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, stop what you're doing. This second round of competition is over.
Woo! Awesome. Good job, brother. I'm excited. My blade is everything that I wanted it to be. I want to see it chop some bamboo and slide through some apples.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test. To test the strength and durability of your edge as well as the overall construction of your knives, I'll be bashing them into these bamboo. Remember, this test is all about what that bamboo does to your blades and not what your blades do to the bamboo. Nick, you're up first. You ready?
Tear it up. Bamboo is no joke. It's tough, it's hard. This is where the rubber meets the road, or in our case, the steel meets the bamboo.
Well, Nick, first things first, your edge held up great. It's still very sharp, so well done for that. One of the issues with the blade is there are still unwelded portions on the edge, but it held up, it's still straight, it's still sharp. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Josh, you're up. What are you thinking?
Go for it, man. Biggest thing I'm worried about is the blade chipping. Super nervous. I have no idea how my blade's gonna hold up to this bamboo.
Well, Josh, first things first, your edge is still razor sharp. There's no indication that this knife has ever been bashed into anything. Your handle is really comfortable. I like the swell you have in here. I like how you dealt with the leather. Nice job.
Thank you very much.
All right, Scotty, you're up.
Oh, let's dance. Adrenaline's pumping right now. I'm hoping the crack at the tip is not a big deal. I'm afraid of hitting that bamboo and watching that blade come apart. I'm behind the 8-ball. I'm hoping the crack at the tip is not a big deal. Fingers crossed, let's see what happens.
All right, Scotty, that's what happens when you ask a guy to dance. Those welds that you corrected on the spine, they were not welded all the way through. And then on the last hit, there's a dark spot right up here at the very top. That was a crack that was already there during the temper, and there it went.
All right, Scotty. Unfortunately, in the final strike of our strength test, you suffered a catastrophic failure. We cannot move you forward with testing. Come on forward, my friend.
I came here to show that no matter what the obstacle in front of you is, if you have a smile on your face and joy in your heart, you can face that obstacle no matter what happens. First thing I do when I get home is I hug my kids and my wife. Without them, I wouldn't be here, and I'm just really happy to see them. Just too bad it's under these circumstances.
Nick, Josh, congratulations. You guys are in the third and final round of this competition. Now, when you came here, you faced really tough challenges that escalated throughout the first 2 rounds. Now we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate this iconic weapon from history. The Zhanmadao.
Holy this thing is huge.
Measuring nearly 6 feet in length, the Zhanmadao is a massive sword used by the Song dynasty of China. Primarily used defensively against cavalry attacks, this devastating weapon had the ability to stop a charging horse with a single blow. The weapon's long handle design allows for better control and balance while fighting against mounted enemies. This lethal sword is rumored to have been a pivotal weapon for Chinese forces during the Battle of Yanqing, when it was used to defend against nearly 15,000 Jin invaders on horseback. Your final challenge is to forge a Zhanmadao. It must be an effective and working version of the weapon that you see here, but just make sure you hit the parameters. The length of the blade must be between 40 and 42 inches. You must have a guard and a handle that is between 20 and 22 inches in length. After your 4 days, you'll return and present your weapons to our panel of expert judges, and after they've tested them, they'll declare one of you guys the Forge and Fire champion, who walks out of here with a check for $10,000.
I have never made anything this big. This definitely is going to be a challenge that stretches me and my capabilities.
Good luck, bladesmiths. We'll see you in 4 days.
Good luck, brother. I'm back here in my home forge, and I am starting the Chinese Zhanmadao. It feels really good that Will's not yelling at us and adding parameters, so I'm pretty stoked to be back here. I really want to get the entire blade shaped out.
Who is that in the driveway? Is that Will Willis? No, it's just His Holiness, the Dalai Lama.
Day 1 went pretty good. The blade is rough shaped. The plan for tomorrow is get a bunch of that meat off. Hopefully the blacksmithing gods are with me over the next couple days.
Today I gotta try and figure out forging on this blade. I've never made anything as big as this before, so it'll be a unique challenge. This is what I'm starting with. Big old piece 5160, My forge only has about 18 inches. It'll just be working on it a little bit at a time. Try and keep it simple and get something drawn out to size. This thing is gonna be gigantic. Damn. We got the length. It's a good start. End of day one. I got the whole blade forged out to a real rough shape. The plan for tomorrow is to get to the quench by the end of the day.
Yesterday, I was able to get the blade shaped to where I want it. Now I can get busy grinding and hopefully by the end of the day to get it quenched. This is going to be a day filled with attention to detail. This is the most nerve-wracking part. This is kind of the make or break moment. So pull it out of the forge, get it in the oil, perfect. I pull it out. I didn't get a curve on it. I have zero curve on this blade. I need it to have a curve on it because that will allow it to function the way it needs to. I've got to stick it back in the fire and I've got to get it back up to temperature so I can try another quench. This is not what I wanted to have happen. So get it in the oil, perfect. I pull it out. I didn't get a curve on it. I need it to have a curve on it because that will allow it to function the way it needs to. I've got to stick it back in the fire and I've got to get it quenched. This is not what I wanted to have happen. So here we go again, quench number 2. It didn't break. Best off, there's a little bit of a curve in it. Day 2 was an adventure. Pretty happy with where I'm sitting right now. So what I'm hoping to have done tomorrow is get the guard fitted up and be ready for the final day of fit and finish.
Morning of day 2. Goal for today is to get everything heat treated. Doing about everything I can to try and get it as even as possible, but here we go. Coming out of the quench is going to be a real challenge, so I clamp it down in some 2x4s.
The idea here is to help try and keep it as straight as I can while it cools.
End of day 2. Have a quenched blade. So far, so good.
I'm doing okay, a little tired. Coffee and hate, that's what I'm fueled by. Just kidding, just coffee this morning. The sword looks phenomenal. Now I can really start focusing on the fit and finish. So I'm gonna start working on my guard. After a lot of file work, I get the guard fit right up to the shoulders. It looks perfect. Now it's time to start securing everything. That seam there, I'll fill with a piece of cord, and then that's gonna be wrapped back to 12 inches. I've got to finish the handle, but I'm comfortable that I can get this blade done tomorrow.
Goals for today are get the blade cleaned up and ground, and then move to working on the handle. Got the bevel ground in. Now I'm gonna start working on getting this handle fit up. I'll glue these 2 pieces together, do some sculpting. I'm actually gonna make it a little bit smaller than I would because I plan on doing a wrap. Have a little bit of time left, so start working on shaping the guard. Doing a little fit on the guard. I'm happy with the shape overall. Tomorrow's gonna be final assembly, glue up, all that fun stuff. Yeah, I'm just glad Will hasn't shown up so far. I'm glad there's no more parameters. I got plenty of them. Yeah, that'll work.
Nick, Josh, welcome back to the Forge. You guys have had 4 days at your home forges to work on your finale weapons. Nick, tell the judges about the construction of your blade.
The blade itself is made out of 5160. I used Russian olive in the handle, did a stacked leather portion of the rear part right before the pommel.
All right. Josh, tell us about your blade.
The blade itself is 5160. Guard is mild steel. Handle is poplar and copper fittings on the ends.
All right, gentlemen, well, it's time for the judges to get down with their Zhanmadaos. There will be 3 tests. There'll be a strength test, a sharpness test, and up first, Doug, and the kill test.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. Well, your Zhanmadaos aren't pocket knives. They definitely look very long. But what kind of lethal damage can they do? To find that out, I will take your weapons, deliver some slashes, and killing blows on this boar carcass. Dick, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yes, sir. Holy crap. This isn't just a little domestic hog. This is a hog that's got tough skin, tough hair. I'm hoping that my blade has what it takes to get through this hog.
All right, Dick, let's talk about your weapon here. Now, the design you have, I was expecting a little bit more of a curve. Because of a straighter blade, it feels more like I'm chopping before I'm drawing. But as you can see, it will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Josh, your turn. So you ready?
Let's do it. Pretty nervous about this. The hide's really thick, it's really tough. After seeing Nick's blade perform pretty well on the boar, and it just makes me more nervous.
All right, Josh, let's talk about your blade here. The balance is good. In as much as I can feel the power in there, I can wield this weapon and develop some speed and power. And the curvature that you have here does exactly what this kind of design is meant to do. Every cut was very deep on this carcass, enough to where it cut all the way through. And more importantly, it will kill.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to the strength test. Now, to test the strength and overall construction of your blades, I'll be chopping into the pots and into this horse skull. Now, remember, gentlemen, this is not about what your blades do to the targets. This is about what those targets are going to do to your blades. Nick, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm concerned with the possibility of my blade breaking because of how long it is. I'm pretty confident in my heat treat, but that's a lot of steel out there to be hitting hard objects. I really want my blade to perform well here. I want this challenge to come down to the judges having to make a decision instead of the failure of my blade.
All right, Nick, so there's not really any chipping or rolling that I can feel. It's just sort of just lost its fine edge.
Yes, sir.
Most of these weapons have a bit more of a curve, and this, it's got about as slight a curve as I could call a curve.
Yes, sir.
It's a very, very flexible blade, but it did well, so nicely done.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Josh.
Let's do it. The biggest thing I'm worried about is chipping out the edge on the blade, running a sharp blade into those pots. It's not something you'd ever want to do with any type of blade.
So Josh, very well crafted blade, which I like. The guard, the dimensions, the size and the shape of the handle, all really beautiful. Unfortunately though, we've got some rolling on the edge of this blade. You hear that? Yes, so you put an incredibly fine edge on this, and it showed in the kill test. But not so good for hitting pots. It's a great feeling weapon, but yeah, it did take that edge damage.
All right, bladesmiths, now it's time to find out how sharp your blades are. This is the sharpness test, the dual Sandman slice. Now, unlike the strength test, this is all about what the edge of your blade does to these Sandmen. Dick, you're up first. Ready for this?
Yes, sir.
All right, Nick, let's talk about your blade here. As you can see, it cut the arms, cut the legs, disemboweled the rice off the torso. Overall, sir, it will cut.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Josh, your turn. So you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Josh. This is a cutter. Just the design of it really lends itself to really draw cut. The cuts are very deep and they're very clean when you're cutting through. The rolling it took did not affect its cutting ability. So overall, sir, it will cut.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, the judges' deliberation is complete. They've made their final decision. The new Forged in Fire champion is... Josh, congratulations. Nick, your blade didn't make the cut. Doug Markite is going to tell you why.
Nick, the Zhanmadao was designed to be a horse slayer or chopper. The amount of flex you have on your blade and the lack of curvature made it perform less than that of your competitor.
All right, Nick, at this time, please leave the forge. Come on forward, my friend.
I may not be the Forged in Fire champion, but by no means do I consider myself a loser. Congratulations, dude. The sword that I made is something that I am extremely proud of. And when it came down to the decision, today just wasn't my day.
Congratulations, Josh. You are the Forged in Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for $10,000. Come on forward, shake our hands.
I'm Forged in Fire champion, and I don't even know what to think right now. It's something that I can show my kids, that if you put your mind to something 100%, you can really accomplish something.